Okay, TikTok. So a lot of y'all was like, do a story time, do some story time, do some story times, right? So, boom. Here's my first story time. I have so many story times for y'all because my life is literally a fucking movie and it's crazy. So, story time one, I'm about to tell y'all about the time that my cousin told me that the guy that I was messing with was on the down low and he was him off. It gets crazy. So back in 2017, I was fucking with this guy. I really liked him. Like, that was my nigga, right? We was really fucking with each other. So my cousins and my sisters, like, we all grew up like sisters and brothers. Like, it was like no cousin. Keep in mind, these are my blood cousins, right? So one night, it was a nice summer day, and me and two of my sisters, I have 4 sisters, me and 2 of my sisters and 2 of my cousins, we all went out to a hookah spot, you know, to catch up, just enjoy each other's company for the summer. We was vibing, we was chilling. So we get to the hookah bar. So anyone that knows me on a personal level knows that my biggest fear is falling in love with a man that is secretly down low, right? Everyone that knows me on a personal level knows that. So like for part 2, guys, because it gets crazy. All right, part 2 on how my cousin told me that my man was on a down low. So my cousin, he's a boy. Of course, he's gay, right? So we're all in a hookah spot, we're chilling, whatever. So my girl cousin, she goes, "Oh, tell him who you talk to." So in my head, I'm like, okay, no problem. But I'm wondering, like, why she want me to tell him who I talk to. So I'm like, oh, I talk to Whoopty Boop, whatever. So he like, who? Show me a picture of him, whatever. So I show him a picture. He like, you talk to him? And he named him something else. So say if my nigga name was Carlton, he named him Steven. He like, oh, you talk to Steven? So I'm like, Steven, my nigga name not Steven. My nigga name is Carlton, right? So he like, he told you that's his name. That's not his name. So I'm, in my head, I'm like, whoa, like, whole time I'm thinking my nigga name was a whole nother name, but y'all calling him a different name. So I'm just like a little baffled at this point. I had to sit up real quick because this shit gets crazy. So then as they saying this information to me, like telling me my man's name is a different name, me and my sisters is looking confused. So my sister's looking at me, I'm looking at my sisters, like we all just in a circle looking at each other like, huh? So guys, like for part 3, because yo, this is crazy. Part 3 on how my cousin told me that my man was down low. So now me and my sisters, we all looking at each other, everybody just looking back and forth. So I'm just like, Steven, like, how they calling him Steven, and he introduced me as Carlton. Like, at that time, me and my man, we was only dating for 4 months. We was only talking to each other for 4 months. We started messing around in April. The situation happened in August. So my cousin goes, oh, the reason why I know his name is Steven and not Carlton is because I went to his house before. Then he's like, he lives in Queens, right? So I'm like, how he know that? He like, oh, do he live in a basement? Oh, do he live here? Oh, does his room look like this? Like, completely describing my man's situation. So I'm like, throat all dry. What the fuck is going on? So I'm saying to my cousin, like, how do you know this? And he thinks it's hilarious. He's like, like giggling a kiki can. And my heart is breaking because that's like my biggest fear. Like, what's so kiki fucking funny? So my sisters, we all just like look, everybody's just looking. Nobody's even pulling a hookah at this point because we need to know what the fuck is going on. So he goes, oh, we did some things. So now my heart is sinking because like at this moment and me and this guy's relationship, we was intimate, we kissed, like we were intimate, we was in that stage where we were fucking, we were doing all of that shit. So it's just like, now I'm disgusted. I'm like, about to throw up. So I'm like, what do you mean y'all did some things? Like what? Like what are you talking about? He was like, you know, I gave him fellatio. And I'm like, legit about to throw up. Anything that I ate for that day is about to come out of my fucking stomach and nose. Y'all, like for part 4 because this shit gets fucking bananas. Part 4 on how my cousin told me my man was down low. So now I'm very, very angry at this point. Like, it's visible that I'm very angry. I'm very upset. My cousin thinks it's funny. So my sister is like looking at how mad I am, and she says to my cousin, like, if this is not serious, if you're just playing, like, stop, because like you know this is really upsetting her. So my sisters and my other cousin, they saying like, if this is not serious, like, stop, just stop if it's not serious. So he's just so weak. He's like, like just kept doing that, like, is it's true, like I gave him fellatio, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. So I'm, like I said, I'm sick to my stomach, and he keeps saying like, oh, does he live here, does he live here? Like, yeah, I gave him fellatio. When I was doing it, I had my wig on, just saying, like, just giving details, and I'm just getting even more disgusted. So now I had enough of the story. I'm like, is it true? Like, we keep asking him, is it true? Is it true? So then it's one thing to get my cousin to tell the truth. If, for example, say like word to grandma. For example, saying like word to grandma, being that grandma's passed away, you like, oh, I'm gonna put it on grandma. That's how I know he's telling the truth. Whoop de whoop. So my sister saying to him like, say word to grandma. Say word to grandma that that's true, that you know gave him fellatio. He wouldn't say it. He wouldn't say word to grandma. He just kept saying So my sister was like, for real, like, stop playing. Say word to grandma if this is true. He would not say word to grandma at all. Like, he just would not say it. So at this point, I was disgusted. I was turned off. I was ready to leave. And I was ready to never talk to Carlton, the guy that I was talking to at the time, ever again. I'm like, just disgusted. I was like, yeah, Carlton is never going to hear from me again. After I leave this hookah bar, Carlton could forget about me. And it's crazy because Carlton was texting me as I was there, but I wasn't responding because I was trying to get to the bottom of this whole down low situation. So now we all leave. Me and my two sisters, we drive in the car with my older sister. And then my two cousins drive in the car in their car, whatever. So then as I'm in the car, like, me and my sisters, we just like, yo, that's crazy. Like, I'm boiling. Keep in mind, I'm boiling. Like, if I was white, my whole skin will be orange, not red, because that's how hot I was. Y'all, like for part 5. Part 5 on how my cousin told me that my man was down low. So, like I said, we left the hookah lounge, whatever. I went with my sisters, my cousins went with themselves. When we left the hookah lounge, I was under the impression that whatever my cousin told me was true. I believed it off rip because I'm like, this is my cousin. Why would he lie to me about that? Even though he didn't say word to grandma, I'm like, one, why would he lie about that? Why would he make that up? And two, how did he know where my nigga lives and like the details to my nigga room? So I automatically thought it was true because I'm just like, why lie about that? You get what I'm saying? So I'm in the car. I text Carlton. I said, listen, you're never going to hear from me again. I said, I have nothing to say to you. I said, you told me your name was Carlton, but your name is really Steven. I'm sending this all in text to Carlton. So he's starting to call me. I'm ignoring all the calls. Ignore. Like, do not call me, bro. Don't call me. He's calling. I'm like, yo, do not speak to me. I have nothing to say to you. So he's like, what happened? Like, we was just on good terms. Like, why are you going off on me? He's like, yes, my name is Carlton. My middle name is Steven. Like, I thought I told you that was my middle name. I'm like, so I finally get home after telling Carlton not to talk to me, after ignoring all his calls. I get home. I cried a little bit. You know, I'm a thug. Thugs cry too. Fuck out of here now. So I cried a little bit. My mother come in the room. She's like, what is wrong? Like, what is wrong? So I told my mother the story. She like, hear him out. Like, see what the boy have to say. Stop ignoring him and see what he have to say. So Carlton kept calling me. Like, when I tell y'all he was calling like clockwork, he was calling me. So I finally answered the phone. I finally answered Carlton's phone call. Like for part 6. Part 6 on how my cousin told me my man was down low. So I finally get on the phone with Carlton. I answer his phone call. He like, yo, what's good with you? You know, typical New York lingo. Yo, what's good with you? What, whoop-de-whoop, whatever. So I'm like, I started off with him telling me a fake name. So I'm like, yo, your name is Steven when you told me your name is Carlton? He like, listen, Carlton is my middle name. Steven is my first name. I thought I told you that. I tell people my middle name because I don't really like my first name. I'm like, well, one, you should have told me that. I don't like when I have to find some information about my nigga from the next person when my nigga should be able to tell me any and everything. He like, I apologize. I thought I told you that was my name and I go by my middle name. I'm like, well, you didn't. That was like my first problem I had with you because somebody was able to come to me about some shit about you that I didn't know. So now I'm looking dumb and embarrassed. So instantly after I addressed the name shit, I went to the whole down low allegation. I said, you like boys? His whole demeanor changed. He like, what? I said, Carlton, my cousin told me he gave you fellatio in your apartment. His whole vibe, y'all, when I tell you his whole vibe just went, like the soul just left his body. So he like, your cousin said what? Your cousin who? Now he want to know all the information. So I said, my cousin so-and-so told me that he gave you fellatio. And I'm just so hurt by that because I'm thinking you're a straight man that's into me. This man was so mad, y'all. Y'all know like when somebody is so mad, but they trying to keep their composure, but you could tell they mad by how they sound. Like he wasn't yelling, he wasn't screaming, he was calm as fuck, but angry as fuck too. So he like, your cousin told you that he gave me fellatio? I'm like, yes. And I'm like, just so embarrassed, because if that was the whole case, then why did you start fucking with me if you like boys? He's like, yo, that is not true. And I'm so mad that your cousin gonna put that on my name. And that's a whole lie. He like, yo, I really want to hurt this. Like, he was going off. I can't say it because TikTok bans, whatever. But he was, like, going crazy. Like, y'all want to hurt this man? Like, why would he ever put that on my name? Whoop-de-whoop. Like, that's crazy. He was, like, just legit going off. So now I'm confused. I'm like, wait, so my cousin is lying to me? He's saying, like, no, this never happened. Like, the reason I know your cousin, the reason that your cousin knows where I live, because my sister brung him to me to... Part 7 on how my cousin told me my man was on a down low. So my man at the time, he was like, listen, the only reason I know your cousin is from childhood. Like, we grew up because my man's sister, was dating a lady that knew my cousin back in the day. So they was dating. So that's how they met each other as kids. They knew each other as kids. They lost contact. Whoop-de-whoop. So now fast forward to 2017, my cousin was looking for a fake ID. He purchased it off my man because he was the plug getting like fake IDs and shit. So that's how my cousin knew where my man lived in Queens. And that's how he knew like his whole room situation, whatever. So this is what Carlton is explaining to me. Like, this is the only reason why he knows how my room looked, because I sold him a fake ID. Whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. So I'm just like hearing him out. But in my mind, I'm still confused. I don't know if I should believe Carlton or if I should believe my cousin, right? So I say to Carlton, I said, listen, I just need some time to like, just think this all through. This is a lot of information being told to me by my cousin, being told to me by you. And it's just a lot to process. Like, just please give me some space. So I wake up. It's a new day. Good morning. It's a new fucking day. So I get a text from my cousin, the one that told me that my man was on a down low. He's like, bitch, you told him what I said? I was just joking that whole time. I was just playing with you. I told you I was joking. Keep in mind, y'all, like I said previously parts of the story, he never said he was joking, and he never put it on grandma that he was serious. He didn't say, he kept saying, He never said he was joking. He was like, I'm so sorry. I know I played too much. I should have never played with you like that, knowing that you don't like guys like that. Like, I should have never did that to you. I'm so sorry. Like, he was so apologetic. I'm so sorry. I should never did that to you. But I really don't want you to talk to him because I think he's Illuminati. So I don't want you to talk to him. I didn't want him to have the satisfaction of dating and talking to my cousin, because come to find out, my cousin had a crush on him, but it would have never worked because the man is straight. So now I get a text from my other cousin, which is my cousin's sister. She goes, I'm so sorry that he did that to you. He plays too much. I do not condone him doing that to you. That was so messed up. I know you're mad at him. Like, just pretty much trying to like just say what her brother did was messed up. And I'm just like, I'm just really upset, whatever. Like, I just need my space because that's wrong. Like, why did you tell me that the guy that I like is down low if it wasn't true? So then come to find out, Carlton ended up hitting my cousin up, like checking him, like, yo, you put my name in your mouth, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. So my cousin ended up getting scared. So that's why he was like, I'm joking. I'm just joking. It was a joke. I'm sorry. I should never played like that. So at this point, I'm still upset because Carlton told me his name was Carlton, but his middle name was actually Carlton. His real name was actually Steven. So I'm still a little turned off. So I'm just like, this was a lot. And then my cousin lying to me, it left like a stain, because it's just like, you my blood. Like, why did you do that to me? But fast forward to 2022, I still love my cousin. And me and Carlton are no longer. He ended up being toxic as fuck.